So welcome back to Intense Gains. So if you've been following the videos so far, you'll note that I've been doing a full body routine basically as an experiment, coming back from an injury. So I spent 3 or 4 months out of the gym in terms of training upper body. I've then come back, done 8 to 10 of these once per week workouts, basically got to the point you can see now. So I've recovered maybe 80 to 90% of my previous levels of strength and size. Conditioning's not so good, but that wasn't my priority. I just wanted to get my strength back. And now I've decided to switch things up and go back to a more sort of traditional routine. So this routine is taken from the book High Intensity Training the Mike Mentzer Way, and it's the second workout or the first leg workout of that cycle. So I'm starting off with some pre-exhaust. You can see I'm doing the leg extension to isolate the quad muscles there. The weight I picked was probably far too light, so I've edited up the video to cut out the sort of middle portions of the exercise so that you weren't watching, 4 minutes of leg extensions. So the main technique points here are a 4-2-4 cadence. So raise the weight under control, squeeze for 2 seconds, and then lower under control. And as you can see, I failed to complete that rep with good form, so it's time to move on. So that's something I would call form failure. It's probably not true failure. You can grind out more partials and things like that, but that's good enough in terms of a pre-exhaust cycle to end that set. And then I've moved immediately to the leg press. So the quicker this transition, the better. Basically, you've temporarily weakened the front of the legs, and then you're bringing in the fresh hamstrings and the fresh glutes. And you need to think of this second exercise as more of an intensity booster. So the main thing is to improve on the first exercise, but still try and improve on the second. But don't be surprised if you don't improve on this second exercise every week. It's a very difficult combination to do. You're going to experience an incredible amount of pain, and you just have to develop the discipline to keep going, to take the set completely to failure, and just deal with that pain and difficulty. As you can see, my head's flopping around far too much as I really struggle to get out the last of those reps. It's 12 to 20 on both exercises, but obviously I told you before it was a bit light, and I ended up doing, excess of 20 reps, I think, on both exercises. So after that very difficult combination, we move on to the seated hamstring curl. Again, I haven't done this exercise in a long time, and I put far too little weight. I ended up getting something ridiculous like 30 or 40 reps of this. It was only about 40 kilos on the machine. And my hamstrings are still quite strong, which was good to discover, but I think I sort of missed the opportunity with this set. So I've edited out a big chunk of the middle reps there so that we're not watching 5 minutes of hamstring curls. But again, 4-2-4 cadence. And with this particular machine, there's not a whole lot of stress when your legs are out straight. Most of the work comes into play in probably the final half or final third of the stroke. So it's really important to focus on that 2-second squeeze. As you can see, I'm driving that pad back as far as it'll go and giving it a good squeeze there before returning it under control. So really make the most of that. Get the discipline to completely finish the rep. If you can't get back to that position, essentially I wouldn't count those as full reps. You can keep doing partials if you like. There's still a little bit to milk in terms of finishing the rep, but you should only measure complete high quality reps. That's your metric, or that's your gold standard for measuring progress. So once you finish with hamstrings, you can move on to the leg press, toe press. Basically, I don't have a standing calf machine in this gym. Not the biggest fan of the seated calf, but I do like this exercise. It's probably as close to you get as a standing calf raise, but it has some advantages. You don't have to load up the weight on the spine because you're sitting in that seat. And the form is basically 2-2-2. So that's 2 seconds to raise the weight, 2 seconds to squeeze the weight as high as you can at the top, and 2 seconds to lower it under control. The rep range is 12 to 20, like most lower body exercises in Mentzer's routines. And you can note here that I've probably changed the cadence a fair bit, halved it maybe compared to what Mentzer might have advocated. But I feel because the range of motion's so tiny that it's pretty impractical to take 4 seconds to raise and lower the weight. So I've just adjusted it to suit. Feel free to do the same or keep it strict like Mentzer. Probably not going to affect things too much, but I just find it very tedious to spend 4 seconds moving such a tiny distance. So we're on to our final exercise here. Legs have been done. We're going to finish off with some abs. I don't do a lot of direct ab work, to be honest, but because it's in this routine, I thought I'd show it for those who'd like to train abs. I like this crunch machine because it kind of works the abs from both directions. So you could think of it as like combining knee raises with an abdominal crunch all in one machine, which is, I think, a pretty efficient way to train the abs. I'm still pretty strong at this exercise using a 4-2-4 cadence. Rep range, probably I prefer 6 to 10 to be honest for abs, but I've put down 12 to 20 and tried to hit 12 reps today. I think I fell just short of that. But the main thing is slow and controlled to get into that crunch position, really drive the abs when you're fully contracted, and then lower under control. And if you have a look at the weight stack, when I'm fully stretched and elongated in the abs, I make sure I stop just short of letting the weights touch back down. So this means that I've kind of slightly adjusted the range of motion so that I keep the target muscle of the abdominals activated at all times. And this is a good little, general bit of advice you should apply to all exercises and machines. Nip and tuck the range of motion for safety and to keep stress on the muscle. So thanks for watching, guys. Please like, share and subscribe. Add some comments. I'd like to make a shout out to all the guys on the Facebook groups that have been sharing the videos and commenting. I really appreciate the feedback.